Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thursday. I have been fighting. I have been fighting being my authentic self. I have been fighting not being able to be myself, the way I was raised, the judgments, the projection that were put upon me my whole life, the restrictions I had my whole life. A family is sacred, and family is very important. And coming from a family that made you feel less than, like nothing, like you never did anything right. Whenever you would try to do something good for yourself, achieve in school, learn something new, just be yourself, I would get shut down. I would get judged and criticized. But in a way where it was more energetic, like spiritual abuse, energetic abuse, because my parents, my aunts, my uncles, they've always known how gifted I am. And so they tried to mess with me in that way, to oppress and put shame onto my gifts and my abilities and my strength and my power that I've had since a little girl, since a baby, since I came out of the womb. And I remember I would have bad migraines, attacks, since I was a little girl. I never truly like when people tell you, be more childlike. I don't know how to be more childlike. I never had the safe space and to actually be a child. I was told to grow up fast. I was judged at and projected onto. So ways, like laugh, we couldn't have fun, we couldn't enjoy ourselves even at our home. We couldn't like hear, our mother couldn't even like hear any happiness and joyfulness because we would get into trouble. Like if it was with my younger brother, I'm like enjoying my time and we're laughing or something and we're playing games. She always tried to keep us apart and separated in ways, and very, very manipulated ways. You know, we were always put to shame, and ways that I would secretly, you know, make myself be in that high vibration, that childlike feeling. I had imaginary friends. I had, you know, Jesus Christ, God, my angels, always with me. And those were my friends. And something I would enjoy doing is reading Disney books. I had a collection of Disney books, like the main stories of all the princesses. Winnie the Pooh was like my favorite, and still is, and now it's my son's favorite. And I would get lost in reading those books, you know, and just dream and imagine and go into like another world, right? Because my world at home was the worst, you know. It was just dark. And so I would find that, you know, that joy and happiness within and with the spirit realm. And my favorite thing would do was like, I love writing. It's something I've not done for years. Like free writing. And I could express myself very well in writing compared to speaking it out loud. I'm good with communication, but I'm still vulnerable and in certain parts of myself where I can't truly be myself. You know, I'm overcoming and being my authentic self and not wearing that mask of who my family has conditioned me to be, or to act, or to show, or to perceive. Also, all the judgments and the oppression. You know. So, yeah, I would like, you know, have my notebook and just write and copy the stories I love to read. And I would just copy it down, right? And my handwriting was so beautiful. I mean, after hours and hours of writing, so beautiful. And within that, I would just get lost in the story and create and imagine new things that would happen within that story, within my writing. And how my mother would see me is just working, 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 and that would make her happy. You know, she would feel like at peace. But I had to hide and not show I was happy. I had to hide that. You know, in my room with the door closed, I would, you know, enjoy my time alone and my space, and, you know, a lot of darkness. A lot of darkness in my home. A lot of demonic entities that I would see and I would be afraid of. Going into my mother, coming out of my mother. I would know when she was taken over. When something was controlling her vessel, I would know, and I would start to protect myself. Put that shield up of protection and signs up from my spirit guides, my angels. My angels, you know, would warn me to protect myself. Like, it's on. Spiritual warfare is on in this house. I haven't dug deep, like, ever. Like, I truly am envisioning at this time, those times, like if I was there, and how I felt. And I have not been able to do that because I've blocked those moments, those experiences out of my life and forgotten about them. But it's all coming back. And that's because I feel safe. I really feel safe. At night, I was always being watched. Always by like a witch. A dark, you know, those witches from the movies that have that long nose and ugly face with the long nails and that evil face. I would always be watched by an evil witch in the corner of my room, the ceiling. And sometimes it would be a straight demonic being. I believe something was done to me when I was a little girl, before the age of 5. I have like a memory. I don't know. I can't fully, there's parts that have been cut out for my safety and protection, you know, like naturally protecting myself from seeing that again and remembering that. But something was done. Like to be stripped from my gifts. And for me not to ever find who truly I am. And to know myself ever. To like a destiny swap. And this was in my home country. I am finally this new shift, this new, I don't know, there's so many words. There's another spiritual awakening, a timeline shift, a quantum jump, ascension. I don't know exactly what it is, but after I got confirmation and received the truth last week, everything just shifted, and all those curses and spells that were upon my life were broken. The illusions were broken immediately that day, Thursday of last week. And I just saw everything so clearly. And I started to see myself so clearly. The hurt and it hurts more that, you know, it's taken so long to get to this point where I could truly be myself. And I could talk, like, literally I've always been like mute, like my throat chakra has always been blocked, and I don't know why. I can't speak my truth. I cannot speak. I have so much to say. I have so much knowledge to give to others, and why is it going back and forth? Why sometimes I'm able to, sometimes I'm not. My creativeness, my artistic side comes out. I'm naturally this type of person. I'm creative. I am always happy and excited for life. I'm grateful for the simple things. You know, I don't need a lot in life to be happy, because I have Jesus, because no material things, nobody can fulfill and give us unconditional love like him. And you know, it's been a journey of forgiving my enemies forgiving the people that are still in my life for economic reasons, right? But I've distanced myself from them. And I have learned to put boundaries. And I've learned to not speak and say to not show and speak of my ideas, my desires, my dreams, anything positive. When I would get excited for life and speak, I would get negative attacks, energetic negative attacks from any family member. Like just hateful and jealous and envious. You know, when I was sad and going through shit and stressed and just literally trying to gasp for air, drowning, my family members would be at peace, relaxed. I've never had help and support in my life. Like literal physical support and help, ever. You know, I've always been the problem child, the rebel, the one that they can't control, the one that is a lost cause, the one that will never succeed in life, do nothing in life. You know. Sorry guys, I'm hungry. Even my own sister, I think she's 9 years younger than me. She would never, you know, like, I try to be so close to her. She's my stepsister, but I basically raised her. And you know, she was the chosen one in the family, the one that was supported, the one that's gonna change everything. You know, they gave her everything, and they gave her attention and love. You know, even though it was fake, because they're trying to mold her into something. And she was a, you know, pure-hearted girl. And when I left home, when I moved out of state, I had to leave. I couldn't keep sacrificing myself to stay there to protect my siblings. And you know, I left, and she changed. She became one of them. She became karmic. So she could fit in and be like them. So she is accepted and not persecuted and not judged like me. You know. The devil fucked up somewhere. I'm trying to find out. Not too long ago, but he fucked up somewhere not too long ago. He lost his grip on me because I'm free now. And the people that are still in my life, it's just crazy. It's like I've always dreamed and prayed for my enemies just to stop and back down. You know, my father, my ex, my mother, my stepfather, unknowingly. Because subconsciously, it's like I've always known. My higher self has always known. You know? I remove people from my life if it's friends or relationships or whatever, where I would frequent a lot. Even those people could affect you. So I would remove myself. I would remove myself and my energy. I would cut people off to see where, this is coming from. This negativity, these attacks. And at the same time, I was isolating myself, going into depression because of the things I had to do in order to protect myself. Not knowing that it was my family. It has always been my family. So the way that they would do things, when life would get exciting, when I'm going out more, experiencing life, having experiences and trying to put myself out there and enjoy and be myself, they would start attacking. And then me thinking, it's what I'm doing, it's the people, the new people or whatever. And then I would remove those people out of my life or go into isolation again. Go into old patterns. Then the attacks would minimize. But always having something looking at me. I've always been paranoid. Always having something or someone looking at me, watching me every single second of my life. And that was the scariest shit ever. Scariest shit ever. Stalking. How can you feel safe when that's going on in your life? Your whole life. As a little girl. Like something's watching me.